Futures trading involves a substantial risk of loss and may not be suitable for all investors. Therefore, carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you in light of your financial condition.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, December 31st. I'm Phil Streible, Chief Market Strategist at Blue Line Futures. So it's been a really busy morning here with precious metals deep in the red. You got February gold down about $65 at $43.21. March silver down $6.79. That's about an 8% decline at $71.11. You got March copper down 10 cents at 567. That's about a 2% correction. And platinum down about 10% at 2013. Gold silver ratio sits at about 60-1, so edging a bit higher. And silver's gyrations, they continue here with some wild price swings, prompting the CME group to raise margins on the precious metals for the second time in a week here. So margins for gold, silver, platinum, palladium will all increase here as of the close of business today. Now looking at the broader markets here, stocks, they look to extend a two-day kind of low-key here sell-off here with some investors locking in some positions in a record-setting 2025 or holding back any kind of big decisions here before the new year. You got the S&P 500 down about 0.2% at 69.31. You got March NASDAQ down about 0.3%. It's down 65 points at 25,610. You got the Russell down about 5 points at 2512. So a bit of a sell-off here. Both indexes, they're just drifting low over the last 3 days here with some rotation out of growth here in momentum stocks and in more value and quality names with this seasonal anemic trading here. So still the S&P 500 set to close out its third straight years with hefty gains here and pointing to the latest all-time highs. Now you look at the economy here, we're going to get the readings on initial jobless claims here for the week of December 27th. Also those continuing claims for the week of December 20th, they are both due out at 7:30 a.m. Central Time. Now the rate cut expectations here, they are increasing in March here, and traders are looking for 2 interest rate cuts into 2026. So we'll see how some of the economic data plays out because that could be a tailwind for the gold market. Now markets are anticipating about a 17% likelihood that the Fed will reduce rates by about 25 basis points at that January meeting. You go to March on the 18th, about a 44% chance of an interest rate cut. You go to the FX, the risk rundown here, the dollar index sitting at about 98. The dollar looking for an annual decline of about 8%. So that's one of the steepest declines since 2017. The euro sitting at 117.83, 10-year treasury yields at 4.12%. The VIX at 1637. Bitcoin looking to potentially close back over that 90,000 level, sitting at about 89,500, up about $1,200 here on this overnight session. The S&P gamma exposure markets are still neutral gamma. We'll have an option expiration come off today here, and we'll see if that plays any kind of role or at least opens up the door for a bit of volatility here as we start the new year. You go to Europe and Asia here, French stocks, they did edge lower here while UK stocks were steady, and the European benchmark is wrapping up 2025 near its record highs. You got Asian stocks that are flat with the regional benchmark poised for its best annual gain in 8 years, and the MSCI Asia Pacific Index recouped about 0.1% here in some deeply thin trading. And I think that the thin trading, the year end is kind of one of the reasons why we're seeing a bit of a takeoff here on the precious metals. And you look at the ETF flows here, and this is where you get that silver market really coming off because the ETFs, they were selling silver here quite aggressively. They cut about 5.8 million ounces of silver in yesterday's trading session, so lightening up as the market pushed higher here. I think that the markets were really rattled after that sell-off. Now you get the pop back up here, and they were looking at taking some of that off. And it was the biggest one-day decrease since October 16th and a 5th straight day of declines. So traders are really paring back some of the positions, locking in some of those positions as well as we close out the year. So it is the longest losing streak since October 29th. You go to the gold ETF flows, no real action there. So total gold held by ETFs up about 19% this year at 99 million ounces here, and the highest level since September 15th of 2022. So some of this volatility in these markets obviously going to prompt the CME to increase those interest rates, those margin requirements, but you'll see traders, they'll adjust their positions accordingly here, switching either to having options on or going to those smaller contracts to pare back some of their positions. But if you got any questions here, reach out to us. We're going to be writing a guide on a technical analysis guide on the precious metals markets. And then also I'll be posting an article on Kitco if you guys don't go to that website. Great website here, a lot of useful tools here as far as the precious metals markets. But if you got any questions, shoot an email, info@bluelinefutures.com. Remember, futures and option trading does involve risk of loss, may not be suitable to all investors. Good luck, good trading, have a happy new year.
Futures trading involves a substantial risk of loss and may not be suitable for all investors. Therefore, carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you in light of your financial condition.